Alright, here's another video of a couple revolvers that I have. Now, in my last video, I have some of the Colts police positives that I was going over, especially this one here. This one here is made around 1915, and it is a Colt police positive, 32 police long, so it's 32 Smith Wesson long. You can also use. And the last video I was explaining on how to disassemble and reassemble if you need to clean inside all the parts, or if you want to change some parts. And I just want to get an update on this one, that I did change a couple parts inside. And if you remember on my last video, the bolt here was really loose, like it was the spring. So I did replace the spring on this. I was going to replace the bolt, but the bolt seems like it's in good condition, so it's really tight now, the spring. And in the last video, you can actually move this cylinder. It would just move by itself, but right now it's tight, even though there's some play, which will be fixed soon. The play will be the latch right here. So if you could see the latch is actually worn. It's on an angle a little bit. It looks like it's bent. And I mean, it's wear. Even in the cylinder here, it's wear. So you're not going to get it 100%, but I am happy so far. I put a new mainspring in that was in here where the handle is a mainspring, and it's better than the other spring that I had. So as you could see, there's just a little bit of play, a little bit of wobble on the cylinder, but then when it's pretty tight compared to the last video that I made. And then, you know, of course, when you pull the trigger, just a little bit of play, but not much. But at least it's tight. It's tighter than it was, and I do like it. So that one's almost done. As far, I might replace the latch. I'm not quite sure if I could find a latch. If not, I have to buy a police positive, a 38 caliber latch, and then I have to file it down myself to make it, because the 32 latch is a little smaller than the 38 caliber latch. But you could pick up 38 caliber latches out there, and then just, like I said, file them down a little bit to match the one that you have, and it should work with a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of filing. Now I wanted to compare this one. This is my Smith & Wesson Regulation Police. So about when this came out, around 1915, I believe. Actually, this one was made around 1915. The Colt, the Regulation Police, this one was made in the early 20s, and I believe they came out around 1917, and a lot of them had wood grips. These are not wood grips, believe it or not. These are reproduction grips, and they're made out of like either like a plastic or a fiberglass in a mold, but they make them look old, as you could see the imperfection on the grips. So they actually make a mold of real 1917 Smith & Wesson grips. They even have the stamping, if you could see. Let's see if I could focus it in. There you go. That has the date, the patent date of June, looks like June 5th, 1917. So they actually make it look exactly like the original grips that were made for this, because these are extremely hard to get. And if you do find them on eBay or Gunbroker, they're very expensive. They could go anywhere from $80 and up for a pair of walnut wood grips of the Smith & Wesson Regulation Police. So this one is really tight. This is a 38 Regulation Police Smith & Wesson. As you can see, just a little bit, but when you pull the trigger, it's almost the same as the other Colt, but it shoots nice, and the timing is really good. And remember, the cylinder is the opposite way, So when you cock it, see how it goes counterclockwise, the cylinder, because that's Smith & Wesson. And then when you pick up the Colt, it goes counterclockwise. Or, yeah, I mean clockwise. What am I saying, counter? See, that's the clockwise. Okay. Needs a little bit of breaking in since I readjusted some parts in there. But other than that, it's not bad. Compared to this one now, the Smith & Wesson. See, that's smoother action. Because I didn't replace anything here. But this is pretty much taken care of through the years. There is some wear. Of course, there's no finish hardly. Very little finish. But they're completely two different revolvers, even though almost the same concept with a small frame. This is a square butt, they call a square butt. This is a square butt also, but they also made round butts for hand grips. This gives you a little bit more control. And if you look here with the Colt and the Smith & Wesson, you can see the back tang only comes down so far. With the Colt, it goes all the way down. Of course, then it comes down here. This one doesn't. And then when you turn them over, see, you could see the Smith & Wesson ends right there, 1/4 inch above the grips, while this continues around. And that's why you need these special grips, because like I said, they only made them for so long. You just can't get regular flat grips. They have to be cut out to form these tangs, so where they end. Alright, just wanted to make a quick video on that to show you. Again, the Smith & Wesson 38 and the Colt 32. Really good 6-shot revolvers. Actually, this is a 5, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when you look at the Colt 32, you have 6. So, and it's not much bigger. I mean, when you got a 38 and a 32, I mean, look at the difference. It's still a nice size bullet. So, and then if you look at it this way, okay, slightly larger, of course, with a 38, but it's still a nice caliber of the 32. And the cylinders, you want to compare the cylinders. They're pretty much close, right on, of the same length. So, nice revolvers. I said I was going to maybe try to finish this up. I did, you know, Brillo pad it and all that, or steel wool. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. This one I'm just going to leave as is. Thank you, and see you next time.